Okay, so here I am, Dr. RJB again, and today I'm going to be discussing something I've talked about on Instagram and YouTube, um, and we're talking about elastic energy. Um, when we run, we propel ourselves off the ground and forward. Um, uh, and in basketball, you propel yourself up off the ground so you can stuff the ball in the hoop. Um, the reason why we're able to do this is because of the elasticity of the muscles and tendons. Years ago, a physiology grad student evaluated the power that was in the muscles of the legs and figured out that there just wasn't sufficient power in the muscles of our legs to allow us to run the way that we did. And we run long distances, which is actually fairly unusual in the animal world. A lion can run at 50 miles an hour, but it can only manage that for about 30 meters, and then it poops out. So that's why if you ever watch the nature programs, you'll notice that the lion sneaks up on the prey, gets as close as he can, and then charges and jumps. If he doesn't time it right, if he doesn't get close enough, he loses the prey. So I think they estimate that lions lose about more than half of the prey that they go after. When we run, we use the elasticity of our muscles and tendons. And that grad student I mentioned before, he figured out that that was the motive power of running, that our elasticity is what powers us along. So there's three phases with running. There's a stance phase, which is where you have all your weight on the foot. The push-off phase, where we are propelling ourselves forward. And the flight phase, which is where we have both feet off the ground for a period of time. During sprinting, 75% of the time we're in the flight phase, and the rest is on the ground. But in usual running, it's more like 50-50. Now, when we land in running, our weight is falling down to the ground. So we catch our weight using our quadricep and our soleus muscle of the leg. And this causes those muscles to stretch against that contraction. And that stretch causes a rebound of those muscles. And so that's actually the reason why we are propelling ourselves up and forward. It's this rebound of the muscles as they kind of bounce off the ground. The same exact mechanism actually is in the kangaroo. If you ever watch a nature program and see the kangaroo, that they're hopping 10 to 20 feet with each hop, and they're using the elasticity of their muscles to be able to do this. Now, another example is take a look at your dog's legs. You're going to notice that the dog's legs are fairly thin, and then there's a big lump of muscle at the top of their shoulder and their hip. That's because most of the leg is actually tendon. And they're using these tendons to propel themselves just like the humans do. As a matter of fact, one of the reasons they think that dogs became domesticated from the wolf is that the wolf was the only one that used to be able to run with us. So we're out running and hunting, and the wolf would come with us. We used the wolf's ability to smell and to hear, and they used our ability to see. So basically, we were able to capture the prey, and both of us benefited by eating it. That's why humans are the ones who run marathons and not the chimpanzees. Chimpanzees can walk on the ground for short periods of time, but mostly they stay in the trees. We came down from the trees and we decided to run and catch our prey. And so we developed certain talents. We found elastic energy in our muscles and tendons. We also lost our fur because we needed to sweat and keep cool, because when you run, you develop heat. So we have a few things that have changed in evolution to make it easier for us to run. And like I said, this elastic energy is basically what's pushing us forward. I mentioned the push-off phase. There actually is no such thing as a push-off phase. During that period of time when our foot is in the back position, we actually just lift the foot off the ground because of the elasticity of the hamstring. And then because of the elasticity of the hip flexors, the foot, the knee goes forward. So most of the running phase is actually elasticity. The only big muscle power is used when we hit the ground in the stance phase, and we have to prevent ourselves from falling. Okay, so this is elastic energy, guys. Something you're using every day and you don't really notice it because you actually even use it during walking. Okay, take care, guys. Have a good week.